Hi, okay, welcome to session 7. What we will be doing today is consolidating, which basically means that we're not doing anything new. We are literally going to fire through some questions that are very, very similar to the type of thing that you might see in an exam, so that you are getting used to the way they word things and you are seeing what is sort of going in, what you're feeling confident on now, what you might need to look up still. And that is a really important part of this. This isn't a test. It is a chance for you to see what's improving, but also to go back if you're stuck, look at your notes, see if you can work that answer out. That's a really valuable part of our learning. All right, so first question is up. I'm going to let you read through it and have a go. So hit pause and press play when you are ready to see the solution. Okay, so this question is about buttons. It's about blue, yellow, and green buttons that are in the ratio of 5 to 6 to 9. So the first thing that I would do is I would just get that information, because that information takes 2 whole sentences to say in this question, doesn't it? But really all it is I've got blue, yellow, and green buttons in a ratio of 5 to 6 to 9. And that whole, like I say, sentence narrows down into sort of mathematical speak really, really nicely. I've got to work out what percentage of the buttons in the jar are yellow. Okay, so my final answer just needs to be a percentage. The way that I would do this is I'd find its fraction. Most percentages grow very, very nicely from a fraction. So if I can do the fraction first, it will just make your life very, very easy. So there are a total, I add them together, there are a total of 20 buttons in this jar. The proportion that are yellow are 6/20, okay? And then I've got to work out the percentage. If I've got a calculator, I'll just times that through by 100. I could times it through by 100 by hand if I wanted to. 600 divided by 20, cross those off, 2's into 60, 30%. There's lots of different ways of doing it. It could have cancelled the fraction. So there's no right or wrong way, but there is only one right answer, 30%. So if you got that right, well done. Next question, pause and press play when you're ready. Okay, so this has that all-important word estimate, which means we're going to be rounding all of these numbers. So we've got 60 times 10 all over 0.5. That 6 is rounding it up to 5, isn't it? So if I work out what I can see so far, I've got 600 over 0.5. Don't want to be dividing by that decimal. So I'm going to times everything through by 10, top and bottom. That's going to give me 6,000 over 5. Then I can just take that and divide it. Now you most likely want to go straight into your bus shelter, which is the easiest way to do this. 5s into 6 go 1, remainder 1. 5s into 10 go 2. No remainders, 5s into 0, 0, 5s into 0, 0, you got your 1200. So if you got that right, really good, well done. Okay, there's your next question. Again, take your time as you read through it, look for the key information. The story helps give context, so you can almost imagine this story happening, and have a go. Press play when you're ready. Okay, so there's a couple of ways to approach this question. You could start with your time of 8:30, and then you could add on 36, which would take it to 9:06, and then you could add on 36, and you could keep going like that, and it would work. But it's just a little bit harder doing it that way. What I'm going to do instead is I'm just going to go up in 36 and not worry about the actual time. I'm just going to find how many minutes it literally takes for this to repeat, for them to come back and start over. So we've got 36, double it, 72, add on another 36, I get 108. Don't know why my 2 went funny there. Next is 144. Next is 180. And the other one's going up in 30s. And I can already sense that 180 is probably going to be my key number, because obviously my 30s are going to go up with zeros on the end. So I need a number with a 0 on the end. So I keep going, and eventually I will hit that 180. So that's 180 minutes, which is the same as 3 hours. So all I have to do now is take that start time of 8:30, add on my 3 hours, and I've got the answer. The next time they both leave at the same time, it will be 11:30, and include that unit AM. Otherwise, it could be 11:30 at night. So you've got to make sure you really fully communicate that. That is a mark lost. So really, really important that we're doing that. All right, next question. Pause and hit play when you're ready. Okay, so Don writes down one multiple of 12 and 2 different factors of 30. So there's quite a lot going on just in that first sentence, multiples of 12 and factors of 30. He adds together his 3 numbers and he gets an answer that's greater than 30 and less than 40. So the first thing to do here really is to think about our multiples of 12. We've got 12, 24, 36. The number has to be greater than 30 and less than 40. So the next multiple of 12 isn't going to count because it's going to go over that 40 anyway. So those 3 might help me with this problem. The factors of 30 would be my next job. So I've got 1 and 30, 2 and 15, 3 and 10, and 5 and 6. And then it's just a case of playing with those numbers, finding a set that actually works. So I know that I have to use a multiple of 12. I've got 3 to choose from. I'm going to choose the middle one. And I'm going to put 24 down. I want to get into those 30s as quickly as possible. And I know I've got plenty of smaller ones here. So I'm going to add on the 10, because that will take me into those 30s really, really nicely. So plus 10, I know that's 34. So if I just add the 1, that will get me 35, which hits the criteria of being between 30 and 40. Now, there are a lot of combinations. So as long as you have a combination that uses 1 of these numbers and 2 of these, no matter what that combination is, it will be right. Okay. All right. Well done. That is our next one. Press play when you're ready. Okay, so lowest common multiple. So these are multiples of 40, multiples of 56. And again, I could go 40, 80, on and on, 56, 112, on and on. However, okay, and if I had a calculator, if it was on a calculator exam, I'd probably do that for a little bit just to see if it comes up quickly. If it doesn't come up quickly, I want to be using those product of prime factors. And that's how we're going to do this, because it's super easy and you don't have to worry about anything. So 4 and 10, 2 and 2, 2 and 5. And then we've got 56, which is 7 and 8. And then you've got your 2 and 4 and 2 and 2. So that doesn't take too much to do. Into then that 2 matches with that 2, that 2 matches with that 2, that 2 matches with that 2. I've got a 5 and a 7. So I'm going to be doing 2 times 2 times 2 times 5 times 7. And again, if we're sticking with the whole, how we would do it with a calculator, I would do it backwards. 7 5s are 35, double it 70, double it 140, double it 280. So 280 is the lowest common multiple. So 280 may not have taken too long to get to. So writing the lists could equally work. So with part B, we've got no choice but to use this because that's what they've given it to us in. So we wouldn't be timesing those and getting the values. We would be putting them straight in to the Venn. So I've got a 2, a 2, a 2, a 3, and a 5 for circle A. For circle B, a 2, 2, 3, and 2 5s. So we'll match what we can. A 3, and we can get a 5 in. Okay, the rest I can put in if I want to or not if I want to, because it's the highest common factor. I know it's just that center bit, don't I? So I can literally go 2 times 2 times 3 times 5. 5 3s are 15, double it 30, double it again. My highest common factor is 60. So if you got that right, fabulous. Next question, read through, have a go. Okay, so we've got the word percentage, but we haven't been given a percentage. And that's the first thing that really stands out as it's not a 2-tick question. Profit is a really good keyword as well, because profit is a change in something, you know, there's a difference. So this is our 1-tick question where we do difference over original times 100. So she pays £20 for 24 books and then she sells them all for £1 each. So she sells them for a total of £24. So 24 take away 20 will give us the profit. Okay, so that's our profit. It's also our difference between the cost of buying them and then selling them. So our difference is 4. The original cost of them was 20, and then you times through by 100. And again, this is the type of question that it's very commonly on a calculator, but when the numbers are really straightforward, you can find them just as easily on non-calculator. And this is a very, very straightforward. So I can times along the top to give me my 400, cross those off, 2 to 40, go 20. So it's 20%. Okay. Okay, next one. Read through, think about everything, have a go, and pause until you're ready. Okay, so in this question, we have got this £20,000 to invest, and obviously we want our money to make as much as it can. So we are going to check the deals that are out there. We're not just going to throw it in the first thing we see. So the co-op is making it very clear that they've got 5% simple interest. Now you need to keep this simple, because what you can do is you can read that story and go, okay, he's investing 20,000 and he wants the most interest. So that tells you there's going to be an increase, and you've got percentages in the questions. So these do work with 2 ticks. You know, they have to, but because the co-op is simple interest, it's just this one thing that's added over and over. The original times multiplier is just overcomplicating it. So let that word simple remind you, it is really simple. I just want to know what 5% of 20,000 is. So that would be 5 over 100 times 20,000. All right, that gives me 1,000. So that's how much interest he's going to get every single year. So 1,000 times by 2, because he's investing it for 2 years, means that he will earn £2,000 from the co-op. Trust me, this is not real life. We don't get paid that much interest when we invest our money. All right, now the bank, it's compound, so it's repeating over time. So it is going to be the original times multiplier equals results. It is got that power of time as well. So the original is 20,000. Now my multiplier, I've got 100% plus 4.4%. So that's going to be 104.4. Now that's as a percent. And that there is the most common error. Okay, I'll get rid of the percent. The most common error is for you to just transfer straight down that number, which we mustn't do, okay, because it's percent. So you must be remembering to move that decimal point for me. That's to the power of 2. And you get this answer of 2179,872. Okay, if you take off your 20,000, not that you really need to, I think you can already see that this is not going to be quite the same amount of money. So which scheme should he invest in? He should invest in the co-op. That's the one. And make sure you do answer that question as well, all right? Otherwise, it's just working out without you showing that you've understood what you've done. All right, next question. Pause and hit play when you're ready. Okay, so in a sale, normal prices are reduced by 20%, right? Well, there you go, straight away, reduced 20%. It's a decrease question. So my 2 ticks will give me original times multiplier equals result. Now my multiplier, if it's a decrease, I'm going to be doing 100% minus the 20%, giving me my 80%, which is in 2 places, 0.8. If you kept the 0 on, it's not a problem. So we're going to be multiplying through. Okay, so we've got to think about that question. We are being asked to find the normal, the original cost. So the original is, I have no idea. That's what I'm trying to work out. But I know when it was multiplied by 0.8, it gave a decrease of, now look at this. It didn't give a decrease. It was reduced by 30. So at this point, we need a rethink because our natural flow has actually stopped. The normal price of the dress is reduced by 30, not to 30. Do you see the subtle difference there? So if I was to put 30 here, that wouldn't be correct because it's reduced by 30. So if it was reduced to, then it would now be £30. It's reduced by. So I'm hoping I'm demonstrating really well how easy it is for us to just read the question, go with the flow, and not fully think about what we're doing. We're just like, oh, I recognize this, I know what I'm doing. We've got to really, really be careful of what we're doing and make sure we're checking in with the context and we're checking in, with that story really, really well. The normal price of the dress is reduced by 20%. So let me show you. It's reduced by 20%, reduced by £30. This is telling us that 20% is equal to £30. Can you see the difference? I hope you can. And this is, I know it's mean of me, I do know that, but this is so important because this is exactly what happens in the exams, and it's good to be exposed to it and feel it as we're going. If I want to know what the normal price was, then I want to know what 100% of the dress is. To get 20 to 100, I times by 5, do the same thing on that side, and 100% is £150. Okay. So I don't do that. I'm not like that all the time. Please don't panic. And if it didn't throw you off, which kind of was what I was expecting, but if it didn't, then awesome. You are awesome. You're reading and thinking that through really, really well, because that would get most people. All right. Next question. Nice, simple one for you. All right, off you go. Okay, factors of 48 then. We've got What should we split it to? I'm going to do 6 and 8. You can split it obviously anyway, you know that hopefully by now. That'll give me 2 and 3, they're both prime. That will give me 2 and 4, which means that just needs to go again. So my final answer is 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 3. Or you could have written 2 to the 4 times 3. Either way, you will get your marks. It then says find the lowest common multiple of 32 and 48. Again, if you've got a calculator, you can maybe just work out some of those times tables. We have literally just found the product of prime factors for 48. So the question's kind of expecting you really to carry on with that way. So let's find the factors of 32. So 4 times 8, that was 2 times 2, 2 times 4, and 2 times 2. So it's all the 2s. And then we can just go straight into our circle. Okay, so this could be the circle for 32. We've got 5 2s. This can be the circle for 48, where we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 2s and a 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Those 2s can go straight in. And then we've got 1 2 left over, 1 3 left over, and that's what we'll be multiplying together. So we've got 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times another 2. There's 5 of them there all together, times by 3. So 3 times 2 is 6, double it's 12, 24, 48, 96. 96 is the correct answer there. Okay. Next question. All right, hit pause, press play even when you're ready. Okay, so Bob's investing £6,000 for 3 years. It's simple interest, really important we clock that, of 4%, and you've got to work out his total interest. So we're keeping it simple. We're finding 4% of 6,000. So that's 4 over 100 times 6,000. Okay, so let's do this. We've got 24,000 that we're dividing by 100. So we'll cross those off, and it's 240. He is doing this for 3 years. So he'll get the same amount 3 times over. We've got the 0, 8, 12 carry 1, and the answer is 720. That is the amount of money he would get. So hopefully you're clocking that simple interest and not doing the compound where you've got that multiplier with a time. Okay, next question. Again, read through and then hit play when you're ready. Okay, so estimate. Really important we spot that, otherwise we're making a lot of work for ourselves. So this is going to round to 2 and this is going to round to 3. We're finding the total area. So the area of this bit here is going to be 2 times 3, which is 6. And then this will round to 9. This will round to 6. So this is going to become 9 times 6, okay, which is 54. And the total area, 54 plus 6 equals 60. Second part is is your answer an over or underestimate, and give a reason, okay? So what you do is you just look at your rounding and you see that rounded down, that rounded down. So that would be under. Check out what you did here. That rounded down, but that did round up. However, as 3 of the numbers all rounded down, you have got an underestimate. So you would say underestimate 3 out of 4 numbers rounded down, or words to that effect, because we're all going to put our own sentences together slightly differently, aren't we? Okay, next one. Let's play when you're ready. Okay, so we've got to write down two different prime numbers that sum to make 40. So prime numbers, we've got to know what they are. We've got to know what sum means. So those are the key words. So the prime numbers, there's quite a few of them. We've got 2, 7, 13, 17, 23, and 29. So there's certainly a lot to choose from. Don't forget one is not prime. A lot of people want to give that one prime status, but it's not getting it, okay? And then it's trial or error after that, trying different things out. And 23 plus 17 will add to get to your 40. So those were the two numbers that you would have listed down. All right. Next question. Hit pause, press play when you're ready. All right, so 45% is 45 out of 100. We want to know what 45% of times her DVDs, which is 320. So that gives us 144. And then you've got a fifth of 320, which will give us a total of 64 comedies. The rest of the DVDs are science fiction. So we would add our answers here, 144 plus 64, giving us 208. Take that from the total, and it leaves us with the science fiction. So the rest are science fiction, which means she has 112 science fiction DVDs. Okay, next one. Hit pause, press play when you're ready. Okay, so from the list, write down a factor of 20. There are two possible answers, 2 or 4. They're both factors of 20. All right, but just, you know, if you just put one down, that's fine. It only wanted one. A multiple of 4 is similar, okay? 4 is a multiple of 4, but so is 40. So either of those two would get you the right answer. And our square number in that list is 25, because 5 times 5 is 25. Okay. Next question. Again, read through and then press play when you're ready. Right, hopefully that all important word was spotted so that we're not doing any extra work that we don't need to. So we're rounding to the nearest. One significant figure gives that one £20. And we're going to say 300 tickets were sold. So 300 tickets at £20 each is going to give us £6,000. Obviously, she had her expenses of 320. So we take our 6,000, take the 3,200 off, and you've got 2,800. Okay, so 2,800 is what she gave. And obviously, you do quite often get that second part that says, is it an over or an underestimate? I didn't include it because I didn't want that as an additional trigger to help you realize that you should have estimated. So if you just do that now quickly, think about whether that's an over or an underestimate. Okay, so this was rounded up, this was rounded up. So this is an overestimate, okay? And the reason is I rounded up. Okay. There you go. Next one. Okay, so this one is a percent question. It's a decrease. So I know that it is a 2-tick question. At least I hope it is. Now I've caught you out. Oops, what am I doing? Writing the wrong thing. There we go. Now, this is absolutely fine for this question. The laptop's reduced by 15% and sold for 578. What was the original price of the laptop? So my multiplier is going to be 100% minus the 15, which is going to give me 85%, which is 0.85 as its decimal version. Obviously, I don't have the original. And the result, what I paid for, was 578. Now, if I want to know what the original is, I've got to get it on its own. So we're going to divide through by 0.85, and that gives us a result of 680. So the original price, £680. Okay, so that's it. That's a little roundup of some of the stuff that we've been doing. Hopefully you found that really, really useful. Remember that you can do any of the videos again, and these ones specifically ahead of exams are really, really helpful because they're exam style questions. And you know, if you haven't done them for a few weeks and then you sit down and do them again, they will benefit you for sure. All right, well done. I will see you for the next session where we, carry on and do the next thing scheduled in the course.